Hello, 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 and welcome to my maiden voyage of podcasts. I decided that I have some stuff to say that I think could be helpful to some people, so I decided I'm going to put it somewhere where people can access it. I started with YouTube videos, and now I'm trying to reach out further to help others because as I learn more and more about this technology game, I am learning that it's hard. But it's worth it because I am finding that my words are touching people. My survival is touching people. My attitude, my feeling, my happiness, my joy, my peace, they're moving people in different ways. And people sometimes are curious to know, how did you do it? How did you come from some of the things that you've described to me and still smile every day and dance every day? And, they're wondering. And the fact of the matter is, I don't do those things every day. I don't think there's anybody who has happiness absolutely every day. But the day when it's not complete happiness, I know I still have joy. And even in my joy, I just have to sit still until I figure out what's going on with me. And that's what I taught myself. When I decided to do these podcasts, initially I thought I needed to be intoxicated to do them. I said, "Oh, I'm going to have me some drinks, and then I'm going to do these podcasts." And I tried it. And, I didn't share it, but I tried it, and, it was okay. But, it didn't feel authentic. So I held on to it. And then I waited, and then I, did a second one, not under the influence. And, it just didn't feel like it touched me the way I wanted it to touch you. So I decided I just would wait until the mood was right. And today feels like the mood is right. Today's the day after Mother's Day, and I had a great Mother's Day. Pretty busy. I hung out with my daughter who lives near me, and I heard from my son who lives far from me. And I got so much love and everything. So yesterday was a great day. I did some exercising in the morning, and then I went to the beach in the afternoon. But for some strange reason, when I woke up this morning, I felt heavy. It was hard to get out of bed. Normally, I can't stay in bed past a few minutes. As soon as I open my eyes and I praise God, I'm usually thinking, okay, what can I get to right now? I don't feel comfortable staying in the bed. So I would get up right away, and then I would take my vitamins, and actually I'd take some Herbalife, and that gives me an energy boost, and I nourish my body, and then I get myself prepared to go out for a walk. I have a routine that I try to do daily. Then today my mood just wasn't there, and I couldn't figure out why, and I couldn't get out of the bed, and I just don't know why. And I didn't do a lot of drinking yesterday because that never makes a difference anyway, honestly. I get up, my eyes crack open at 6:30 no matter what, and I'm always out of the bed before 7, regardless of what needs to be done. I don't know, it's just how I work. But today, as I laid there, I just couldn't move. So I decided to get to work and to use what I'm feeling to share with you, because one of the things that I want to share with you is how to treat your body to get your body and your mind and your spirit and your energy to where you want it to be. And to do that, you have to assess the mood that you're in. And I'm going to tell you a few stories. Not in this story, but I'm going to tell you something that things that have happened to me that I have never forgotten. I mean, I won't say they're traumatizing, but they were milestones for me. And I'm going to share those stories and tell you the lessons that I learned from them, even though they're very painful stories. But in our pain, we can find rhyme and reason. And we can use that as a source to fuel our peaceful journey. Because we take the lesson from that, and you find out why, anyway. I'm babbling on, but so I'm going to tell you a story today that is kind of funny, and it's really sad, and it had the ability to be tragic. But anything I survive, anything I survive. How funny is that? But when you survive something, there may be scars, and you just have to work to heal the scars. But if you get to walk away from it, you got to find the lesson in it. So I'm going to tell you the story of my first car chase. I wish I could say it was my only car chase, and I was doing the chasing. So I would tell you the story of my first car chase. And it was with, at the time, my daughter's father. His name is Dennis. So, and I say at the time because now we have two kids. So you wonder what lesson I took from it. But he and I are friends. He and I are friends. I even talked to him and told him that I was going to be putting his whole name in my broadcast because this was a traumatizing event that I didn't learn from at the time, but it changed who I was as a person then and created years and years and years of misery and jealousy until I recognized the source of my misery and jealousy. And I am now married now. I am not married to Dennis, but I am married now, and I'm learning so much from this incident. Okay, here we go. The car chase. Okay, so way back when, we talking about like 1980, the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. I had my daughter in 1988, so it had to be somewhere, like, again, she was very young. So one day I was going to go out with my girlfriend. And we were just going to go hang out and whatever. And I'm about 21, all right, 21, somewhere in that range. And we were going to go hang out one day. Now, as growing up, I never really dated guys. You know, I like everybody in school always had boyfriends. And I just was never really into that. I was more into playing sports. And I did very well in school, academically. So I was, not really feeling that. But everybody had boyfriends. And everybody was passing little notes to their boyfriend in school. So eventually, I did take on a boyfriend. I took on a boyfriend in high school, sort of, as much as it could be a boyfriend. But the funny thing about this dude was his feet stank straight through his shoes. I'm telling you, when we were outside, we were all good. But when we went inside or got in a car or something, oh my goodness. And that's not the traumatizing event, but it was traumatizing enough. So that was my only experience having dated anyone in my life before I met Dennis. So back on to the story of I was going out one night, and Dennis calls me and he says, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go out with my friend. He says, okay, well, a friend of mine is going into Brooklyn tonight, and I'm going to ride in with him. He's got some business to take care of, and, I'm going to ride into Brooklyn with him. I said, okay, cool. I didn't care. I did not care. I was like, okay, cool. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, right? So he says, oh, wait. You're going to need some money. And me, yeah, oh no, I don't need any money. He's like, no, I'm going to bring you some money. So he brings me $35. Now, remember I said this shit happened in 1988 or around that time? $35 was a lot of money. I was like, 35 whole dollars for little old me? I was so excited. I can't even tell you. I was on top of the world. This nigga just handed me $35. I was ecstatic. So I said, oh, okay. Well, have a good day. Be safe. Whatever, whatever. We wasn't calling each other boo and bae and all that stuff back then. So, and I still, I still was kind of getting used to having a boyfriend. As I was surprised that he told me I needed money. I never had that happen to me before. I was dating a stinky feet dude. So I never really had a boyfriend. So I didn't know how this whole thing worked. And my father was a piece of shit. So I never saw him give my mother any money. I saw him take money, but I never, he never gave him any money. So I thought I was winning. I was #winning before #winning was a thing. So it was all good. So anyway, so we all, we going out. So I'm driving. So as I'm driving my friend, she gets a beep, a page. So if you're young, you probably don't know about beepers and pages and all that kind of stuff. But We didn't used to have phones that we traveled around with. We used to have that little pager like we was a damn doctor on our hip. And you tell somebody, quick, hit me on the hip. And that was a cool thing right there. Hit me on the hip. That mean page me. And then we had them little codes about that 911. Let me call me right now. It was a whole beeper world. There was a whole terminology to that shit. You know, they thought it was cute when they would text shit and turn the beeper upside down, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so she got a page. And when you got a page back then, there's only one thing to do. You got to find a payphone. So if you was on a highway, you got to pull off, find a payphone. Nasty ass payphone, but yes. So we found a payphone. I pull in, and we were not on a highway. We was on like a little like a, I don't know, like a 2-lane road, let's just say. I mean, it was the main artery for Long Island, but it was a 2-lane road. So anyway, so I pull over, and she gets out, and she goes, you know, put a cord in that nasty ass payphone. And while I'm sitting in the car waiting for her, who do I see pass me by? Who passes me by? But Dennis. And I said, you know, I'm like, oh, there you go right there. Look at him. Toot toot. No response. Oh, he didn't hear me. Toot toot. Wait, no response. It looked like that Negro sped up. I don't know if that's factual or not, but it looked like that Negro started driving faster after I tooted my horn that second time. So I thought there was only one thing for me to do. I gotta go catch this Negro and find out why he sped up. So I pull off, take off after him. Now don't forget I told you that my girl was on the payphone, right? Okay. And when you get out the car to go make your call, you don't take your coat. You don't take your pocketbook. You don't take nothing. You get a damn quarter and get your ass out there on that phone. You might take 2 quarters in case the call go a little long, but you ain't got nothing now. So needless to say, when I took off, all her shit was in my car. All her shit, all her extra quarters and everything. And it was late at night. Now remember, we're going to hang out. So this is late. So all the businesses out there are closed. So all right. So back on to the car chase. When I tell you, I don't know exactly how long this car chase lasted. I can tell you where we went. I can tell you we sped onto major highways. We went through parking lots. We were on the wrong side of the road. I was side by side driving with him. We was taking off trying. Now, I had a 1986 Hyundai. 86, 87 Hyundai. Not Hyundai. Now, it was new for the time. And he was driving like this old ass, heavy metal, deuce and a quarter type, Buick LeSabre, silver, looked like a big old tank, 2-door, it was silver with maroon interior. That bitch was old and powerful, and I was pushing my Hyundai to keep up with this nigga. And all I kept thinking about is, this nigga think he can give me $35 and he can do this to me? And I'm, boom, going. And we were gone, and I probably chased him in a circle of how far would you say that is? That's probably about 20 miles or more, or more, because we went on major highways, like I said, through park. We were speeding over curves. If YouTube was a thing, if videotaping was a thing, I'd be on it. But this is just the beginning of the story, darling. Because we were flying down the highway, and like I said, it's just a little simple little 2-lane highway. So we get to a major intersection where a bigger highway crosses over. So you could either go into the left turn lane, you can go straight, or you can go up and you can make a right. Somehow I got caught behind a light, and cars got in between us, and he was ahead of me. So what do you think I did? You think I just let it go? Oh, you don't know me at all. I went into he was in the lane to make a right turn. I went into the left turn lane and cut across and blocked him. So he couldn't move. And thought he couldn't move, because that big bitch car crashed right into my car and pushed me out the way. He dented my fender into my tire. Do you think that stopped me? No. No. He pushed my car out the way and kept going. So now I'm chasing him with a dented in fender, rubbing on my tire, and as I'm driving, all I can hear is brrr, brrr, as I'm driving. Did that stop me? We still kept going, going, going. So again, we go down, we get on the highway, we get off the highway, we go in, we go back. I'm telling you, it seems like it was for hours. But it might have been a simple hour, but it seemed like it was for hours. So anyway, so we going, 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 going. Then, I don't know what made him do this, but he pulled on a road that I'm pretty sure was a dead end. I'm not 100% sure, because I couldn't see anymore, because now my damn car was overheating. Smoking like a bitch. I'm in that car choking. I smell it burning, and every time I slow down, a big old puff of smoke go up. Yo, the shit was crazy. But did that stop me? No. I chased that bitch. I was gonna seize up that engine if it was gonna kill me. I kept going. So when he went down that little street, and once all the smoke and shit cleared from in front of my window, I see this nigga walking toward me. Now that means he left his car somewhere. And now that I'm looking, I think I see some headlights. So I try to go around him. Nope. He jumps in front of the car. I'm like, I need to know who in this car that this nigga is risking his life for. So I get out my car. Because truthfully, it probably wasn't going to move anymore. But I get out my car. And I walk past him. And I'm going to go to the car. Now, the car started moving. It started backing up. I was like, oh, so now you letting this bitch drive your car. I was on it. I was fire. Because you know how, like, when you're in a police chase, if you've ever seen, not in a police chase, have you ever heard of a police chase? And every time you break a law in a police chase, they write it down. They charge you with it. So if you failure to signal or failure to stop them right on red or speed, like every time you speed, there's a charge. So that's how you can tell if somebody was evading the police, because it usually results in about 25 or 30 charges. So this was another charge against this nigga. First, he don't toot back. Then he gonna bump my damn car and got my damn wheels. Then he made and now he letting this bitch drive his car. Oh my God. If that nigga wasn't so big, I'd have fought him. But he was way too big. He was way too big to fight down there in the street. So I did the next best thing. Because since I can't fight you, Negro, and I can't run you over with my car because it's going to make too much noise rubbing on the tire, I said, okay, I know how to get you. I had on some brand new Nikes. Nike, whatever you call her. I was calling them Nikes back then. They were brand new, white, pretty. You know, they had the little purple swoosh on the side because nobody had the purple one. It was so pretty. And then I matched my shirt because you couldn't tell me I'm going out with my girl. And I was still a tomboy. So I was all pretty coordinated, purple. So, let's go out. So in order to punish him, I took my brand new sneakers off and threw them in the woods. Threw them in the damn wood. Ridiculous, right? Absolutely crazy. So, now I'm walking down the street barefoot. Walking back to my car that is smoking in the middle of the road. And now I'm crying. I can't believe you. Blah, blah, blah. I can't. The whole shit. You know the whole shit. Slow. I must have looked so sexy. He must have looked at me and said, damn, why would I give up her? Why would I give up on her? She's so cute right now. And the dumb bitch just threw her brand new sneakers in the woods. Okay. So he was unaffected. He had that look on his face like, you dumb bitch. But come on, let me see your car. Now I'm mad. Oh, you just going to ignore that I threw my sneakers in the woods? Ain't nobody going to ignore my stupidity. So I decided to do something else to punish him. I decided to open my shirt and show my titties while I was walking down the street. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was joking when I told you that my purple cute little button down ugly ass shirt I was wearing, I tore it open and lifted my bra. Now, I don't know what's the sadder part of this shit. The fact that I did that, or at 20 I still have flat ass titties. These titties been hanging ever since they grew out. They came out and fell down just like a tomato on a tomato plant. So I had low hanging titties, barefoot, crying, walking through the street. Now I can laugh about that shit now. But I'm telling you, that's not the end of the story either. Here comes these dudes driving down the street. I don't know who was in the car, but it was a man It was a man driving, but there was other people in the car. They took it upon themselves to roll their damn window down, and yes, roll, old school roll, boom, 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 and say, "You dumb bitch, you making a fool out of yourself." Whoo, they were so right. But guess what? That's another strike against Dennis. Because why you have these niggas out here talk about me in the middle of the street? That's another strike against him. Not me, him. You dumb bitch. So now, my tits out. I'm barefoot. Walking back to my car, overheating with the and Dennis says, "Come on, I'm gonna take you home." And girl, do you want to know what happened after that? I was excited. I was like, I'm winning. He getting in the car with me, and we going home. And I'm gonna take these flat titties and these dirty feet, and I'm gonna get in my car, and he gonna get in the car with me, and we gonna go home. And blah blah blah. So we get in the car to go home, and when we open up the car door and I open up the passenger side to get in, what do I see? My girl shit. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that I had left her at the payphone. I got her coat, her pocket, I got all her shit in the car. Now I gotta go back there and face her with my titties out and my dirty feet. So we drive to where she was, where I left her. Thankfully, she had somebody pass by and saw her and was with her when I got back there. So we pull up, and I'm embarrassed to get out the car. So she come over to the window, and I know she had to be like, "What the fuck, girl? Why is your titties out, girl?" So she got her stuff, and I was like, "You what? You want us to take you home?" She was like, "Nah, I'm good." Nah, I'm good. We done pulled up in there, the car overheating, the tires dented in. I'm naked, barefoot, crying, and he driving. She was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good." I'm good. So she got the car with the other people. They took her home, and she lived right around the corner from me. But she was like, "Nah, I'm good." So we get home. So I get back to my house, and the car makes it. They do something to pull the thing off the tire so we can drive home. And so Dennis goes, all right, see you tomorrow. I'm like, bitch, what? Where are you going? He's like, I gotta go. I got stuff I gotta do tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was exhausted. Being over emotional and out of control and raging and all that shit, that burns a lot of energy. I was exhausted. I can't lie. I can't even tell you if I washed my dirty ass feet before I went to bed that night. I was so tired. So I went to sleep. No problem. The next day, I'm in my yard. I run into my boy. He's actually in heaven now. My boy Sean, and he says, "Hey, now this is all late at night, mind you. This is all happening after midnight now. So now it's into the next day. But the next day, I see my boy Sean, and he said, Michelle, was Dennis at your house last night?" I said, "Yeah." He just looked at me. I said, "Yeah, I know. We got into a little something." He's like, "Yeah, no, not that. But, Michelle, we go way back, right? We go way back." And he asked me for a ride. Now, where I lived and where Dennis lived was at least 12 miles apart. So I didn't even think about that when he left out the door. He was going to walk 12 miles? I don't know. I didn't care. Like I said, I was exhausted, naked, and had dirty feet. I didn't care. So she was like, "Yeah, he asked me to give him a ride." So I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "But he didn't want to go to his house. He told me to take him to the train station." This nigga had that girl waiting for him at the train station. Oh my goodness. So with all that being said, now he and I are friends now. And actually me and the girl who I eventually found out who it was, we were friends too. But I can honestly tell you that was the first time ever that I really had jealousy. I was a person who was never jealous of, I ain't never had a lot of boyfriends anyway, but I was never jealous of him. And he had every reason to be jealous because he was not the most faithful boyfriend in the world. But that was the first time I was ever jealous of him. I have come to his house, come to find out that he was lying all this time, but I've come to his house before, and he was sitting with no shoes on, a t-shirt and shorts, and playing cards with a girl who had on no shoes, blah blah, no shoes. She had on her clothes and everything. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought nothing of it. And I was like, hey, y'all. And I kept on going. One time he drove to my house with another girl's car. I didn't think anything of it. So that's like he taught me to have the amount of jealousy that I have. Because I had boyfriends, male friends. So why wouldn't I think that he could have a female friend? He is the one that put jealousy into who I was, who I remained being for the next 20 years maybe or more. More than 20 years. It came from him. No, excuse me. It came from that situation because I'm not going to put that on him. That's my whole insecurity with whatever I thought was going on or not. I don't know. It triggered something in me. But that relationship is what did it. And I really should have walked away from that relationship right then and there. But I didn't. And I really don't know why. Maybe it was that $35 he gave me. I don't know. Because, that nigga gave me $35 in 1989, 1990. That's a lot of money. You don't even know. You don't even know. But he gave me $35, and which is a 20, a 10, and a 5. Come on, it's 3 bills. I folded them over. Look, like I had a lot of money. He didn't give me 40. He didn't give me 20. He gave me 35. Anyway, so I don't know if that's what the shit that twisted my brain over or what. But I really should have walked away. And I told you, he and I are still friendly to this day. But I would with certainty I can tell you that was the night that I should have never stayed with him. But I can't turn back the hands of time, so I have to recognize, what was it about that night? Why did I stay with him all them years through all those jealous times? And why did all that happen? And as I examine the ridiculous shit that happens in my life, then I look at a message for it. So Dennis, I guess at that time was like the father I never had, because he wasn't that much older, but he was way more advanced than me. He was way more worldly, put it that way, than me. And to be honest with you, I still really wasn't interested in having boyfriends and stuff, but it was kind of cool to have this guy. Yeah, he had a car, and he liked to come wash my car. He did all these things. He made sure I was covered. Even before I had the baby, he was paying child support before I had my daughter. He was giving me money every week. He was really very, very nice to me. But I don't know if that was what sold me or not, but as I look back on it, I had some daddy issues back then, and I guess that's what fed into that whole feeling of betrayal, because maybe it gave me flashbacks to how my father was with me. And once you start to learn where stuff is coming from, then you can deal with it better, more sensibly, calmly, and confidently. And it took me a long time to learn that lesson. So it is possible. So if you have things like that that's going on with you, that's what you do. You look at that shit and you dissect it. You dissect it. And don't put it on the other person. Try not to. Because it's easy for me to say that Dennis is a piece of shit. But he was really a nice guy. He just was a terrible boyfriend. He's a great dad. He's a terrible boyfriend. He's a great worker. He's a terrible boyfriend. I'm telling you, that's all that's really going to matter. You want to chase somebody for money? Okay, but they could be a terrible boyfriend. You just have to be prepared. They might give you $35, but they're going to give everybody $35. They're going to give all them girls that they messing with $35. And if you ready for that, deal with it. Deal with it. If you're not ready for everybody, including your friends and your cousin and your sister, if you're not ready for him to give all them people $35, don't mess with a dude who's a terrible boyfriend. And I don't care what he is he could be the best car washer. He could fry the best chicken. Don't do it. Because ultimately, if loyalty is a priority to you, you better look for loyal signs. And never mind all that other shit. I'm telling you. So anyway, so again, that was part of my growth in relationships. You just have to identify what the hell is what the hell is causing you pain. Identify why it's causing you pain. Matter of fact, that brings me to the self-care word of today. The self-care word of today is mindfulness. And sometimes people, you might see some people in some situations that would have driven you nuts. You would be ready to murder. But you see people who sit in it and they don't murder. They're calm. They press forward, they move on, they keep going. It's not to say that they didn't have an emotion or a feeling to it. They just controlled their reaction to it. And maybe they delayed their reaction to it. And that's what I delayed my reaction to that car chase. I wouldn't have been naked, barefoot, walking down the street with an overheated car and a dented fender, which, by the way, Dennis fixed and bought me some new sneakers. He took care of all of that, but that's not the point. He's still a terrible boyfriend, but no, just be mindful. Be mindful in have mindfulness in things that stress you or cause you hurt and pain. And mindfulness is, I'm going to read you the definition of it, okay? Mindfulness is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. So let's say you're the kind of person who blushes. Or maybe when something happens, it gives you weird feelings in your stomach. Not those good butterfly feelings, but it gives you uneasy feelings in your stomach when you see something happening. Maybe you walk in on your girlfriend, she's on the phone. You don't like that, right? You're walking on your boy, he on the phone. You don't like that. You might not say nothing, but you may got them things in your stomach. Like, oh, man. I mean, some people get nauseous. They blush. Some people just get instantly angry. Just come, bow, slap the phone right at your damn hand. I mean, so mindfulness is taking just a moment to identify why you're feeling you are. So you think to yourself, now I know that you think, okay, ain't no time for do all of that, but make time. Because this is an exercise for you to have peace with you. And there's nothing saying that maybe after you go through this exercise, you can't just go slap the phone out their hand, but at least you'll know why. But if you don't take a few minutes, just a few, all right, how about if I say 2 minutes to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? So I just picture a scenario that you that drives you nuts. You walk in there, there, my phone going off. You walk in there and you walk in the kitchen and somebody drinking out the container. I don't know how other people feel about that. Somebody got their shoes on your bed or your couch. I don't know. Mostly this stuff is over jealousy. So you walk into a grocery store and you see your man talking to another girl, right? Regardless of his history, you got to get into the moment of today. So you stand in that doorway and you say, what am I feeling right now? All right, I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling whatever you're feeling. I'm feeling betrayed. I'm feeling whatever that feeling is. Because now you got the things in your stomach happening. And you go like, yo, what is triggering this? Like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I all of a sudden want to go over there and choke that girl or choke him or choke both of them in both hands? Like, why? Why would I be so angry at a simple conversation? You have no idea what they're talking about, but you're angry. Why? Is this because is this because of something that happened with me, like now, or am I comparing something to something that happened in the past? Because just because you've seen them talking to somebody in the past doesn't mean that this particular time is that same time, and you recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, but how is this different? You know, oh, the last time he was talking to a girl, they were both drinking and his hand was on her shoulder, so that was a little flirting. But she could be asking him for directions. How is this different? Okay, once you find that there's something different about it, or if you can't find anything different about it, then you say, well, then, shit, well, how is this time? How am I different right now? You know, how am I different? Oh, I'm different now because I already took time to go through this process to try to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? So you find something that will calm your ass down, basically. Calm down. Because there's nothing wrong with walking up. There's nothing wrong with approaching the situation. There's nothing wrong with anything that you, except for the violence. But you have your feelings and you're entitled to have your feelings. But you please know why be mindful of why you're having these feelings. Is it because you think, dang, she cuter than me? She taller than me? She shorter than me? She's the neighborhood hoe. She sleep with everybody, man. Like, why are you having all these feelings? Just identify them. Your reaction is still going to be your reaction. Why am I internalizing this? Is this a neutral situation? Would I be mad if I walked in and he was talking to another dude? So why is it this woman that makes such a threat to me? What does that say about me and my like? Why did I internalize this as something that I need to go get my gun for? You know what I mean? So we gotta practice mindfulness. That is great self-care for yourself, to be mindful of why you are reacting. You still might react, and then you're gonna have to assess afterwards. But at least be mindful of, dang, this could be nothing. I'm going to wait until I make sure it is something before I murder him. I think that's reasonable. So what you do is you calm your ass down. Those butterflies, you start to sweat now. You dab that sweat off your forehead. If you tear it up, fix your face, pat it down, get it right. And then you walk over there calmly and you say hello. And then you make a decision based on what you actually know. Right? That's what we do. Now, there's a possibility that in Dennis' car was another dude. In that car, that he could have had the music up and he couldn't hear me. There's all kinds of reasons. And had I taken a moment to just say, damn, he must really be blasting that music. Because then my mind went to, he sped up. He probably didn't speed up. All of that shit is all in our head sometimes. Sometimes. Now, truthfully, it did turn out that girl was in the car. But you know what? That probably would have came to light anyway in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, it didn't stop there. It continued for years and years and years. So it would have come. But I would not have put all those people at risk with those car chases. And that's what I really did. I put my life at risk, and I had a child. I put their life at risk. I put those people who I cut across in there. I put a lot of lives at risk that day just because I just didn't take a minute to say all the reasons why. And by that time, he'd have been gone. I wouldn't have been able to see him, then whatever. There was no cell phones, so I couldn't blow up his phone. I could blow up his pager. But by then, I probably would have calmed down and let the night go on. But I risked my life that night. Plus, them niggas in the car saw my titties. There's a whole lot of bad that came from this. So I'm just saying the lessons that I'm learning from some shit that happened to me in my life is really adding to my piece of my life right now. Like all of the other decisions. And I know we can all Monday morning quarterback ourselves, but we got to start trying to do it in real time. We got to do it right away because, we're getting older. Maybe you're young, but no, we're all getting older. Some of us are already old, but we're all getting older. And if we don't learn to have better decisions and better reactions and all that shit now, nothing good is going to come from it. So, again, I want to thank you for listening to my first attempt at a podcast. I am not a podcast listener, so I'm just starting to get into that now. But I just like to tell that story because we're friends. And I tell that story all the time. And people say, well, how can you still be friends with him? He's still a great guy. A terrible boyfriend, still a great guy. We're friends. We look out for each other. I'm married, so there's no interest in that kind of way like that. But I learned about me, the decision that I made back then, that I wish I had made a different decision. And maybe he does too. I don't know, because it's not important to who I am, what decision he wish he made. This was a long one. This is a long podcast to me, but really, I just wanted to share that story about how I look back on decisions, how I have grown from them, and how I am better. I'll tell you, I'm 53 now, and I just feel like I wasted so much of my life being angry and fighting with people and not enjoying life, just regret it. 20 years. If I could get back 20 years, if the Lord would let me see 53 again, I would be such a different person, but that can't happen. So what I can do now is I can make my next 30 years, if the Lord let me see them, be better and full of happiness. And it doesn't mean I don't lose my temper. It doesn't mean, it means that I really examine what's happening before I internalize it. Okay? That's, it's kind of like, I want to make the analogy of my crooked eyelashes, but I'm going to tell you about that another time. But if I can give you anything from my car chase story that could have taken lives, didn't, but could have, mine, the night that I lost my dignity and my purple and white Nikes, don't internalize. Practice mindfulness in situations where you want to murder. Mindfulness over murder. How's that sound? Anyway, This is not edited. So yeah, you heard my phone ring in the background. One of the things that I'm learning about what I'm trying to do is that the editing takes so long. So until I get the rhythm of just getting them and putting them out there and getting comfortable with that, it's like we in a bathing suit on the beach. The first hour you wrapped up, and then you take it off, you take it off, you take it, then you're comfortable and you can do anything. So that's where I'm at now. I'm trying to get comfortable with my voice talking for this long period of time, getting comfortable with it, and then we'll put some music in and we'll make it classy and fancy and all that kind of stuff. All right, so here's a few segments I like to work on. Just some topics. There's always going to be what I call a crooked eyelash story. So that dentist story was kind of my crooked eyelash story. I have things called ear hustles about shit that I overhear other people dumb shit that I overhear other people talking about, especially at the bar. Cause yes, I learned so much sitting at the bar, and I'm in South Carolina. I'm a black woman from the north living in South Carolina, so you know I'm hearing a lot of shit on the side, and plus I hear this relationship stuff. So I'll be talking about that. I'll be giving you some self-care words or phrases to practice to improve your crooked eyelash situation. I'm going to have some drunken moments, anxious moments. I suffer from anxiety about everything. I am. They should put a big A on my chest because I am Captain Anxiety. Some sad moments, some happy moments, just all kinds of shit that's on my mind that got me to where I am, where I feel I am. And I still have miles to go, but I feel so much better than I did 20 years ago. And if I could prevent you from having one more day of a crooked damn eyelash, I'm here to give it to you. All right? So again, thank you for listening to The Crooked Eyelash with Renee Wright. So you guys have a great day if you made it this far, because this is 41 minutes. I'm proud of myself for talking this long. Take it easy, y'all. Peace.